What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Southern Life.
I'm here too. I'm Katie.
Katie's here. Yeah, she's here. And on today's video, we're going to take a drive through Punta Gorda. Now, as you guys know, we have a hurricane coming in. Punta Gorda, for some reason, has got hit by every single hurricane. They'll predict it's going to go somewhere else, and it ends up here. Let's put this clunker in drive and go for a drive. We're in front of a CVS, and the first thing that catches my attention is that there's unfortunately people living in a car. Right here you can see a vehicle, and they're unfortunately living in a vehicle. You know, I never thought I'd see the day there'd be a homeless problem in Punta Gorda, Florida. But it's everywhere. It's not just some places now, it's everywhere in Florida. Places that you would think would never have this problem in Florida are having it. The homeless situation in Florida is embarking the entire state. Even places like Punta Gorda, where you wouldn't even think, wow, homeless people in Punta Gorda? Exactly. They're having this problem. Now, the reason we're in Punta Gorda is because, you know, both Ian, Charlie, all the hurricanes, like major that we've had, none of them were actually projected to hit here, but somehow they all find their way here. So because we have a hurricane coming tomorrow or the day after, I figured it'd be a great opportunity to see the city of Punta Gorda and try to give it a drive through town, you could say, in case the unfortunate happens and they get hit by a hurricane. You guys can see what the town looked like before the hurricane. Here's a Publix. Obviously, it's already closed. I think the camera's you think the camera's too high? And we're not seeing enough road. What do you think? Or do you think it's just perfect?
I think it's perfect because you're seeing these palm trees and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a little too high, higher than usual of an angle. Hopefully, it's not a problem. I guess I could slam on the brakes and see if I can get it to. It's too tight. Is that helping it? No, another microphone's flying around. No?
I have a headache.
I feel like the camera angle could be a little bit lower. Like we usually see the horizon right at the middle, and we're not seeing the full horizon. How's your neck doing? Usually, you think the camera angle could be a little bit. It'll work like this. You're alright. You feel like you're dying. Your neck okay? I don't know. I feel like the camera angle is like too far into the sky. But this car's so low.
Some kind of
oh, do I do?
Neck?
Oh, my neck does hurt now.
What did I do to you?
Chill, dude. I got a headache now. I do feel like that camera needs to be a little bit lower now. The problem is that this car is so low to the ground that a forward-facing view, I think it's not bad. It's just this car's so low to the ground that a straightforward shot, you miss most of the roads. Kind of like being in a pickup truck. But anyways, Punta Gorda. We actually, you know what's good about Punta Gorda? It's a great place to buy a car.
Yeah.
If you live in Southwest Florida and you're thinking about a new pickup truck or car, I have found that these dealerships here are in a lot of ways better than other dealerships in other parts of Florida.
I eventually want to get me another used.
Like if I'm buying a car, I would consider buying it here. I would at least consider looking at their inventory. There's Ghetto Chevrolet, Ghetto Toyota. There's a lot of options here for vehicle. Good dealership options. Sometimes, you know, I've noticed like like Germain Toyota in Naples and all them are kind of ruthless in Naples and Fort Myers. I feel like you could do a whole lot better for buying a car checking up here first. I do feel like that camera angle is facing too high up. I'm not sure.
That's all something I liked.
I guess we'll let the video viewer people decide if it's too high or not. But you can still see the town. It's 9:16. Everything's closed. There's a Punta Gorda public safety people, the cops and stuff. But Punta Gorda, I tell you, they got hit by Charlie and they weren't supposed to. Look at that Silverado.
Let me see the Waffle House. It's still open.
We have different interests. I'm like, look at that Silverado. You're like, look at the Waffle House, honey.
No, if the Waffle House closes, we're gonna get it real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Waffle House is still open at this point. We are on Waffle House watch.
I don't think it's the angle of the camera's bad. I just feel like perhaps the car's so low to the ground, and where we mounted the camera, this car's low to the ground. It's gonna feel like a weird angle no matter what. But anyways, if you live in Southwest Florida, great place to buy a car. I think the car dealerships here are not as brutal as they are in Naples or Fort Myers.
And Waffle House only closes like a few hours before the storm.
Silverados are gas hogs. I don't know, what do you think about the camera angle? You think it's too high?
It's fine.
You can
It
barely
gives you perfect amount of road and perfect amount of sky.
Punta Gorda's always been known as a ghost town. I love how we have somebody. I'm riding as slow as possible for this video, and I literally have somebody who refuses.
There's 2 free lanes.
2 free lanes. They refuse to pass. Now they're passing on. They try to pass me on the right now. I get in the right lane. Like, they try to pass me on the right. Just
and
go.
now they act like you're the jerk.
Yeah. So what's weird about Punta Gorda is their downtown isn't that big, and then on top of that, the roads are super confusing. It's not like you can actually cruise through their downtown in any practical type of way. Like, I like a downtown that I can cruise through. Well, I think one-ways are probably the worst thing a city could do for their downtowns, because it discourages people. What are all these things like? Oh, mobile ATMs?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bank set up mobile ATMs so that when the power goes out, you can still withdraw cash or go to the ATM for whatever. That's pretty cool. Mobile ATM centers. I think people in Florida have a little bit more confidence in hurricanes now than they did in the past. What do you think? Since, you know, Hurricane Ian, there's so much presence. But then again, you know, I guess it's important. I think the camera angle is a little too.
No, it's perfect.
No, I don't. Nah, when the cars pass me, you can see the bottom of the cars. Let me see here. I want to see more road. It feels like I'm looking at the sky.
That's what you want.
No, not really.
It looks amazing. It looks like something I would actually watch.
The angle?
Yeah.
I feel like it's looking up at the sky.
That's kind of what you're looking for.
No, you should be looking at the road if you're driving. I think the downtown of the city sucks. We also caught a local okay, so the last hurricane we had here was Ian, and it destroyed the city. It wasn't so much the storm surge here, it was the wind. The winds destroyed the city. Because on this side of the hurricane was kind of dry, but it was dry wind. And here in Punta Gorda, we got a video that back then got like 45,000 views, 43,000 views. We actually caught the news station, a local news station. It was either a local news station or it was a major news station, but we actually caught them staging a scene for the news. We were doing our video documenting the damage of the hurricane, and we caught a local news agency. It was either local or national. We caught a news network staging a scene for their video. There was, you know, they had their big giant cameras and their, you know, their sweaters that with the brand of their news agency, like, you know, like all professional looking crap, and microphone booms and all, but they were staging. We recorded them staging, you know, what I would call fear-mongering. They found the one property in town that had the most damage, and they were showing that. You know, it was like the most, the worst journalism you could think of is what they were doing, basically. And it was bad. It was pretty bad, to be honest. And but I made that the cover photo for my video. My video got 40-some thousand views, and you know, we talked a lot in that video about how sometimes the news will blow these hurricanes out of proportion, or they'll portray news stories in a way that gets them more clicks, but doesn't really portray accurately to people what the situation on the ground is. As you can see, it's 9:20 at night. Downtown's a ghost town, and again, we have another idiot behind us, even though the other lane's open. And we're driving extraordinarily slow. We have somebody else again behind us. Seems like drivers here are absolute como basuras y la madre que los parió. But you can see it's a very slow pace downtown. There definitely isn't much going on here. And the reason we're here is to show you guys what this place looks like before the hurricane, in case their bad luck streak continues. Hurricanes. They've been very consistent with getting hit by hurricanes. Especially hurricanes that weren't even supposed to hit them.
I think a lot of people don't understand that places change over time, and no matter what the change is, you're still having things like this place doesn't look the same the way it did 20, 30 years ago.
Why is this person now in my blind spot? I'm going 10 miles below the speed limit. First they were behind me, now they're just, why are you doing this? Why are you behind me? You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, they had a lot of damage on the riverfront here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take I'll turn to the right here, show you guys the riverfront. And these are houses that are, most, to be honest, with Hurricane Ian, they had brutal wind damage here. But structurally, they did pretty good.
Yeah.
And what was hypocritical about that news story is that they have houses. They were showing a house here on the corner. And this house, because it's on the corner, and it's the first house facing the river, the wind ripped the crap out of that house. But that's the image they were showing the people, They picked, it might have been this house right here. They picked everything that looked horrendous about the hurricane, and that's the only thing they showed. And they weren't painting, is this a one-way? I hope not. They weren't painting an accurate picture of the hurricane damage. Look how pretty the new building looks on the other side. What's it called? The Sunseekers Resort?
Yeah.
Looks pretty from here. Oh, there's something to look at on the other side of the water.
Yeah.
But they weren't portraying the situation accurately. They were portraying it in a very distasteful, exaggerated manner. And we exposed them for it, like, hey, that's not what's going on here.
Yeah.
But that's what the news does. They all portray things in a way that sheds light on stuff that, like, people think I'm trying to make the state of Florida look bad. Let me tell you some positive things. There wasn't any, there hasn't been so far that I've seen any panic buying on a massive scale. For one, because people have faith based on how the situation was handled with Hurricane Ian. But that could be very deceptive. The fact that people are now trusting the government. They did handle Hurricane Ian in a great way. And that was possibly because of the timing of the situation, where the government wanted to look like they were doing a great job. So they did a great job, to incite the people to trust in the government. But now you got a different situation here, where we'll see how this hurricane, but people this time didn't panic buy as much. There's still a nut here or there, but for the most part, fuel and water are still available. And that incredibly massive panic that we've seen in other hurricanes, like Hurricane Irma, was unbelievable, and Hurricane Ian was bad too, but Irma was just disgusting. But the point being that during this hurricane there was less panic buying, simply because people now have more faith in the state of Florida based on how fast they got the power back, how fast the infrastructure was restored. But will they be able to do that again? Will it be as important to do it again now? Because the timing of Hurricane Ian was crucial for them to not look bad. Will it matter now? That would be an interesting question of, is the state of Florida going to continue? Who knows, right? But I'm just saying, now people do have more faith in the state of Florida. That's why there's less panic buying, less fuel hoarding, because people understand that, Ian was better. The thing about Charlie, that the one that hit here, is that the people in this particular part of Florida went without water, went without food, everything for 2 weeks. And I'm not exaggerating. We had no preparation, because Hurricane Charlie was supposed to hit north of Tampa, and Hurricane Charlie came in right here through Punta Gorda. And back then there were a lot of mobile homes. They've made a huge focus now in learning from their mistakes and ensuring that moving forward There's more structural requirements for building. And this city is much better prepared for a hurricane now than when this whole area is nothing but mobile homes. It's also increased their real estate values dramatically. This is a fairly expensive city to obtain real estate within city limits. Car behind us doesn't have any headlights on. That's great. And again, tailgating seems to be a thing in this town. This one's considering passing us with his headlights turned off. I don't personally like this town. This town, to me, has become like a sanctuary for the elderly and perturbed. Is that a word?
What?
Perturbed, like you're extraordinarily upset. Is that a word? Look it up. Perturbed. Look it up. If you don't know, look it up. What does perturbed mean? In Spanish, I think it's perturbado, which means like extraordinarily disturbed. Does that word exist in the English language? Most words that exist in Spanish exist in English, because the English language has more words than almost any other language. Perturbed.
A feeling of anxiety or concern.
Yes. How is it spelled?
Perturbed.
Perturbed.
Yeah.
Is that the right? So it's a real word. And the definition is a feeling of anxiety or extreme concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Spanish word, but it exists in English. Most Spanish words will. Perturbed. Say it again. It's a feeling of anxiety and what?
Over concern.
Yeah, perturbed. It's just anxious. That sounds more like a Karen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds more like a Karen.
Yeah. They just described the behavior. What is a perturbation behavior? It sounds wrong.
It sounds
but
wrong.
It's actually a word.
Yeah, it sounds like another
for
word.
a Karen behavior.
Perturbed. It does sound like another much more disturbing word.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But as you can see, this city is pretty much a ghost town. And, well, you just saw Punta Gorda. There's not much to it. Really, there isn't.
Implies perturbed
Implies
a deep disturbance of mind and emotions.
Mind and emotions. Yeah, like you're very upset about something. You're perturbed. Wow. We learned so much on this channel.
Yeah.
I want my subscribers to write this word down and use it throughout the eternity of our channel.
Yeah.
Perturbed. Let's make this word come back. Here's a gas station. Here's a gas station. Gas stations are great places in Florida, especially after 9:30 at night. What wrong? Oh, they actually boarded it up. That's the only business I've seen boarded up in all Florida. But again, they've gone through hurricane and more. It's not Circle K's that had like the fuel problem, right?
Yeah.
It was Circle K's?
Yeah.
Really?
Don't get gas.
We'll get gas somewhere else. Was it Circle K's or was 7-Elevens that were bad?
Oh.
Oh, they're out of gas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They don't even have gas.
Yep.
Well, they do have water outside, but we have more than enough water. All right. Well, that's the video today. Let me turn the camera off, which is going to include me opening the door and walking outside because the camera's not outside the vehicle. You guys have a great day. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe and use the word perturbed on my channel as much as possible.